Obamacare and more unilateral changes. The Obama administration announced another deadline delay. This time, it's for people with pre-existing conditions. The January 31 deadline is now pushed back to March 15. By our count, this is unilateral delay of the law number 15 that we know of. Meantime, the Obama enrollment numbers, 1 out of every 4 Americans enrolled in Obamacare is between the ages of 18 and 34. However, Obamacare needs 40% of its enrollees to be young in that age group. So the numbers are not adding up. And Obamacare, young subsidizing the old, is becoming fodder for late-night television.
I'm Alex, and this is my wife, Martha. And we're both approaching the big 6-0.
And we have health care issues to deal with.
I take blood pressure medication.
And Levitra.
Yes, and Martha's got beta blockers and something for her osteoporosis. It's not cheap.
But fortunately, we don't have to pay for it.
No, you do.
That's right. You young people are paying for our drugs and our doctors.
Not to mention our Social Security and our Medicare when we retired at Boca. And you know why?
Because you don't vote.
And we do.
That's right. Hope you enjoy that Burning Guy Festival.
Come on, Martha. Let's go find that Levitra.
Oh, Alex.
The Affordable Care Act. Next time, maybe pick up a newspaper.
Gallows humor. Here's the death sentence for Obamacare. Fully 79% of enrollees are getting subsidies. 79%. That ain't going to work. So are the young just waiting until the deadline, or are they simply saying, the heck with it? Joining me now from Washington, D.C., president of the Market Institute, Charlie Sauer. Charlie, that's kind of the big conundrum for Obamacare right now. What is going on with these young people? They're trying to reach out to them constantly with ad campaigns, and they don't seem to be eating the bait.
Yeah, the numbers here are really interesting, but let's get to those in a second. I mean, this bill was set to fail from the start. You have these insurance companies that have to accept anybody that signs up for their coverage. It's called guaranteed issue. So between October 1st and March 31st, anybody that signs up, they have to cover. So when the insurance company decides what kind of coverage they're going to provide. Are they going to provide something that looks good to older people, or are they going to provide something that looks better to sick people? By the way, people over 60 cost $6 to every dollar that somebody that's in their 20s costs. Or are the insurance companies going to provide a plan that looks attractive to a young person? So are they going to provide Zumba classes instead of arthritis medicine, as the lead-in was talking about? The fact is that the insurance companies are trying to market to these young people because that is where they're going to make their profit, which makes the numbers, as you alluded to, even more important. 25% is the current number.
Well, I haven't answered your question, in terms of what they're marketing. They're marketing plans being dictated by the federal government. I mean, this basically has become a nationalized system of health care, and that is the health care companies that signed on for Obamacare. The intelligent health care companies said, we don't want any part of this. But we also realized, Charlie, that these healthcare companies were enticed into signing up to Obamacare because they also have that now padded insurance that we found out about at taxpayers' expense. So if they incur X amount of costs, our money kicks in. So they're covered on this thing.
Yeah, they're kind of covered. I mean, the fact is, you're right. And there's plans in Congress that are trying to take care of that. I think Senator Rubio has a bill. Of course, these probably aren't going to see the light of day. But the fact is no matter what happens, if we keep going where only 25% of the youth have signed up, we hit a death spiral where the insurance companies still have to increase their prices and less young people sign up, less young people like my family. I've got 3 people in the exchange under 35. And the numbers that came out from the government, they said that 2.1 million people had signed up for the exchanges, and only about 500,000 of those were under 35. And that number was even boosted by the fact that most of the congressional staffers are under 35, and they've already signed up. So these numbers are inflated. Beyond that, they're actually inflated because just because you've put something in your cart, the government counts that as a sign up. Right. But until you've paid your first month, you're not actually signed up for insurance. You're not actually covered. And I think most young people know how to shop online. They put things in their cart and then they go and shop for value. So I think we're going to see this 25% crumble to about 5%, which several industry analysts have said is the case right now.
Well, let's talk about this death spiral just a little bit. And that is, the way I look at this thing is the death spiral basically is that as this thing doesn't work, the insurance companies are going to have to start raising their rates. And as they raise their rates, fewer and fewer people are going to be able to afford it. So you create kind of this no man's land of people. And then possibly a lot of these people will then be funneled into Medicaid, which is on its own death spiral. So where in the world is this all headed?
Well, I mean, I think the end result here is that we're heading towards some free market solutions, but it's even worse than just raising the prices and losing the young people. As I said, the insurance companies already are trying to entice the young people, so they're under-providing for the sick and under-providing for the old. So there's less and less people that less and less services that the people that need help are getting. But we do have doctors. I've talked about him before on your program. Dr. Keith Smith at the Oklahoma Surgery Center, Dr. Juliet Madrigal. She takes cash down in her Texas family practice. These doctors are driving a new market that I think is going to really take over the country in the next few years.
Well, I hope you're right. And by the way, Charlie, you're one of those, quote, young people, 18 to 34. How's your situation working out with your Obamacare sign-up?
You know, so we were finally able to sign up. It was the beginning of December. I was finally able to make it through the program. The plan that I got is a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. I'm paying a little bit less actually per month for the plan, but I have $2,000 in extra liability at the end of the year, which means that I could end up owing more than the plan that I previously had, which had more than provided for our family for the past 4 years. It's not a system that I want to be in. And besides that, I'm now in a government market where we know that once I get old, I'm not going to get the care that I want. And we know that I'm stuck in this market. So as the companies raise their prices, which we just proved they're probably going to have to do in the next years, I'm going to have that lower price go up and up and up until even me with my 2 daughters is going to have to leave the market.
Oh, it's going to happen. In the end, we're going to make up for the losses with Obamacare. No doubt about it. Charlie, thanks. Coming up next, Congressman Tim Huelskamp and GOP strategy for November as the Daily Ledger continues.